Welcome to our channel. Sacramento Kings' biggest mistake at 2025 NBA trade deadline. The Sacramento Kings had one of the most consequential trade deadlines in recent franchise history. This chaotic period was foreshadowed by a season that, to this point, has not gone according to plan. And now, star point guard De'Aaron Fox is no longer on the roster after being traded to the San Antonio Spurs.
It's a shame this happened.
A former number 5 pick in the 2017 NBA draft out of the University of Kentucky, Fox went through 5 years of disappointment with the team that drafted him. The Kings had the longest playoff drought in the NBA at 16 heading into the 2022 to 2023 season. But that year, under new head coach Mike Brown, Sacramento went from Western Conference bottom dweller to the best story of the NBA season. De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis formed one of the best defensive duos in the NBA, and the light the beam movement was formed. De'Aaron was there for the difficult times and helped this franchise emerge from a massive hole and become a number 3 seed in the conference. 1.5 years later, Mike Brown has been fired, and Fox has been dealt from the franchise that drafted him. However, the problem is not that Sacramento has decided to trade its 27-year-old star point guard. It's what the team got in return, which has been this franchise's most significant mistake this trade deadline. Sacramento did not get enough back for De'Aaron Fox. While it seems like the Kings got a decent haul for Fox, a closer look points out the fundamental flaws of this deal. The return involved Sidy Cissoko, Zach LaVine, Charlotte's 2025 first-round pick, Chicago's 2025 second-round pick, San Antonio's 2027 first-round pick, Denver's 2028 second-round pick via San Antonio, 2028 second-round pick, its own, via Chicago, and Minnesota's 2031 first-round pick via San Antonio. Looking at the first-round picks, the Charlotte one is lottery protected. If the Hornets do not make the playoffs, which they won't, this will result in 2 second-round picks. The San Antonio pick is unprotected. However, the Spurs now have Fox and Victor Wembanyama on their roster, so that selection will likely be in the 20s. The Minnesota selection might have promise, but that likely depends on whether Anthony Edwards remains with his franchise until then. At just 23 years old, Ant will be in his prime that year, which diminishes the selection's potential trade value. With the way the Bulls have been playing recently, that first second-round pick should be high. The other two remain to be seen. Overall, for a star point guard who helped turn around the franchise, the draft capital the Kings received back would not be bad if they received a valuable asset in return on the court. The first player, Sidy Cissoko, is a 20-year-old late second-round pick from 2023. The guard forward is considered a project. Zach LaVine's addition to the deal is confusing. The Bulls' shooting guard, to the point he was dealt, was having a stellar season in Chicago. The two-time All-Star, however, was seen as being an undesirable asset until this year. While LaVine's contract of about $95 million over the next 2 years is somewhat manageable, it does marginally limit Sacramento's roster flexibility that it would have had on Fox's contract until 2026. LaVine's addition also fits into the issue the Kings had coming into the season. The Kings did nothing to improve what's been their biggest weakness for years. Sacramento's move to trade Fox makes the sign-and trade for DeMar DeRozan look extra confusing. The Kings made the bold move to deal for the 6-time All-Star in a gamble that has not paid off. While DeRozan has been efficient offensively, he and Fox have slightly redundant skill sets when it comes to scoring. Neither are considered elite three-point shooters, and consequently, Sacramento's efficiency from beyond the arc got worse this season. In addition, at 35 years old, DeRozan is not anywhere near the defender he used to be. The Kings needed an elite 3-and-D option to pair with Sabonis and Fox this offseason. Think of the OG Anunoby archetype. Instead, the team ran into a similar dynamic that the Phoenix Suns did when they added Bradley Beal. They have too many redundant skill sets on offense and are getting worse on defense. Sacramento has struggled on this end of the floor for years now. And this team is now 20th in defensive rating and has struggled against physical, offensive-minded squads. While Zach LaVine is bigger than De'Aaron Fox, he is defensively not on the same level as the Spurs' newest point guard.